Drinking at 19 versus drinking at 35. All right, this is me. I don't drink anymore, but when towards the end there, I was totally drinking wine.
So, just like all the young kids, you start out drinking, just rat piss beer. And I remember the first time I was in Hawaii, and one of my buddies was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this wine ed." And I was like, "Wine ed? What the hell is that?" He's like, "It's wine tasting." I'm like, "Do I look like I drink wine?" Man. Yeah. Do I look like I drink wine? And we went there, and it started out this, I can't think of what they're called, but he's sitting there giving like, this is this wine, this is the history of the vineyard, and the first two like glasses, everybody's like paying attention and really serious. And then everybody just starts getting a little tipsy. Nobody's listening to this guy anymore, just going off. And then we went and started buying like $20 bottles of wine, $60 bottles of wine. And it's like, man, I only have to buy one bottle and get wasted.
Top 100 squid surveyed. Which rate can burn 2 flicks and still get 12 hours in the rack? Number one answer, sonar. All right. So we work 8-hour shifts down there. Mm-hmm. So 8 hours on, watch, 8 hours off going, 8 hours of sleep. So you technically have 16 hours off in the middle of that. So during one of our inspections, it was an Uss. We were off going, and our cob, somebody that you really know, said, "Go to the rack, guys. You don't know when the next drill is going to happen." So we went to the rack. 15 and a half hours later, I woke up.
First wake-ups.
Yeah, first wake up. What? I'm confused. What's going on? It's time for watch. Oh, okay. What happened to the inspection? Oh, we passed.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, it's over, and we passed, whatever. It's a nuke inspection, and there's drills for all hands. But in this case, they were all engineering. So this big inspection, everybody gets nervous. Nobody wants to fail. Everybody wants to do the best. I slept for 15 and a half hours, and we passed. And I'm sure you remember, right, when you...
I think was I on board?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember it was weird that there wasn't many or any all-hands drills, but we prepped for it for weeks, maybe even months, so everyone's kind of this anticipatory, and then I remember that was kind of a letdown, because we had done well on something. I can't remember, but I do vaguely remember something where we didn't even do any of the normal stuff that the all-hands does.
And there's no all hands fire drill. There wasn't a flooding in the end. Nothing like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, we have a lot of off time when we're not on watch, and we get bored down there. I did do we interviewed an Army guy, and we asked him what activities do you like to do when you're deployed, and he's like, we don't have time for that. We don't have time. It's literally just besides doing the things that you do, is maybe shower, get some food, and try to get some sleep time or work out. That's really all the time you have, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you even have time for that. Well,
now, because there are guys that instead of sleeping, they're in their rack with their laptop, just burning flicks or watching movies, and it's like, dude, you need to get some sleep. We're taking off here in a couple hours.
You guys do a lot of your maintenance on watch too, sonar. You have your aux, and you can do collateral duties on watch. You can sit there, the sonar soup, with the laptop doing some of your collateral duties rather than watching the broadband operator, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. That's what I thought was normal.
Not when I'm on watch.
Heck yeah.
I'm still going back to a boat, remember, as a chief. No, so... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and it all depends on what your job is,
Right.
If there's guys that have plenty of time, even during their job, they're not really doing anything. They're sitting at a computer for work, but they're just sitting there playing games or watching movies.
I do know a bunch of radio men that watch flicks while they're on watch.
Dang.
I won't mention any names.
I've definitely been down to Deeper doing non-watch related stuff. Back in my first tour when we were allowed to go to Deeper.
Yeah.
And
you guys can't tour no more.
like I've been on a barracks duty, once again, like your first couple of years or whatever, where for 24 hours you're sitting in the barracks making sure nobody's doing any stupid crap. And I've been in one unit where the duty hut is just a linen closet where they took a desk and stuck it up against the wall, and you have a phone. And the rules are you can only read military PME.
Yeah.
And this was back before cell phones. So, I mean, you're just sitting there staring at a wall with another guy. And I remember I went to sergeant's course, which is like your PME. And the overnight duty, man, they had a pool table. They had a big screen TV, a whole library of movies. And you literally just sat there, answer a phone if it rings, and just watched movies the whole night. It was the best. At that point, it was the best duty I'd ever stood, So, I mean, it all depends on where you are and what you're doing.
Sitting there with one person with military, that's kind of a ship control party. we have 8 hours with 4 people, obviously watching our panels and looking for indications. But in between looking at all your panels and monitoring for indications, the conversation can go in any direction that you could think of, any topic at any point in time. Back to finding something that bothers someone, you kind of go back to that, hit that honey hole a couple times, but it's fun.
Ever played the name game?
There's different variations of it, I think. There's movie game, name game, alphabet game. Yes, all that. I've made bingo cards for control room where things that happen. Every watchstander has a bingo card, and you can hear bingo. I got caught one time had it underneath my console, and the captain was behind me on the con, and he looked at it. My heart sank, and I was like, oh, no. And he's like, I like it. It's raising my watchstander's awareness. Because it was like military. It was submarine stuff, the quartermaster takes a sounding, or we raise a scope. I can't remember all the details. Like it would be like weird things like a cook in control, or like it'd be like weird things like that. The Cobb XO and captain in control. Someone gets yelled at. The helm is more than 10 degrees off ordered course. All that stuff would be.
Senior Miles doesn't have his poopy suit in control.
Yeah, something like that.
That one happened. That's why I said.
What's a poopy suit?
Coveralls.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the onesie, the big blue onesie. It's what we were underway. It's comfortable. We just can't wear it anywhere else for some reason. Steals burrito and gets tased, becomes a Navy officer. All right, where was this from? Battleship. That was the premise of it. He does that at the beginning of the movie, and then he becomes a lieutenant. Crappy movie. I hated it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the movie.
I don't know if I ever watched it.
Did you ever see that one?
I don't think so.
Terrible movie. I know I'm not a surface guy, but it's a terrible Navy movie. It's so bad that it's like Starship Troopers. It's so bad that it's good now.
Oh, I like Starship Troopers.
Right. But I remember seeing that in the theater and I thought it was terrible. And then I grew up and I liked the movie, but it's one of those movies. Navy budget cuts. All right, so the only reason I put this up is because if they sell this, I want one.
Is that a real thing or is it photoshopped?
I think it's photoshopped.
Okay.
But would you buy one?
Probably. I mean, I would consider it.
All right. If you got gifted one, would you use it?
Oh, yeah.
Spot check at 1530. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know what you guys do spot checks?
I was gonna say, what do you consider a spot
when
check?
When you do a maintenance item, and then somebody goes over with you that you did it correctly. Did you use the right tools? Did you do all that? In other words, somebody didn't do their job to make sure they do their required spot checks, and now they're coming up to you at an inconvenient time to do their job. That's what makes it funny, because
your emergency is not my
right,
emergency.
which is a junior guy.
That's right.
Probably did the maintenance, and a first class is like, we got to do your spot check because I haven't done my required 3 in the last 2 months.
Right.
This is what I'm getting out of it. I don't know if you have anything on this.
Yeah, exactly.
ORM, never heard of it. Never heard of her. Operational Risk Management?
Yeah.
It's with the Navy.
Yeah.
You got,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
the
Just
same
making
thing.
sure. I can't tell if this is a fake picture. To me, it looks real.
Yeah, I don't know what that testing box is, but it's implying that they're applying power to some sort of missile launcher.
Sure.